Check podcast. Today, we got another juicy one for you guys. Season 6 came out yesterday or 2 days ago. We played it. We're here. We got info for you. We got first impressions. But before we begin, JGOD, Ebatez, Isaac, how are we doing today, boys?
Good.
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Listen,
How
we have
until COD Next.
Six, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 days to COD Next. I leave in like 3 days, so I'm chilling. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. But
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say we could actually do like an impromptu thing from there. Hopefully,
Yeah,
like maybe the hotel.
we could definitely do one. Low key, if you guys are down, I'll bring my cameras. Let's make it pop. Let's make it happen. I'm actually down.
Cool.
But yeah, man, Isaac, what's up, man? How you been, bro? It's been a minute since we had you on the pause. A lot of people are missing you. Let me tell you, in the comments and all that, they're missing you. I'm missing you. How you been, bro?
Good, man. Life's been good. Just been like getting time out in the sun, crushing content. I've been streaming like ridiculous hours.
Yeah,
so
shit.
I've been enjoying COD. I've been missing the podcast though, so it's good to be back. Good to be back.
Happy to have my boy back, man. And as always, my boy Ebatez. Yo, I feel like we might be seeing a little bit more of Ebatez, on the regular. I like the way this man talks. Ebatez, talk to me, man. How you doing,
I
bro?
appreciate you having me, man. Yeah, just been chilling. I know we all got back from World Series like a couple weeks ago or a week ago, so just been hanging out, spending time with family, and just kind of resetting till the new game.
Yeah, man. Shit. Okay, let's real quick. Let's new game, boys. I mean, we have what? It is now Friday. Next Thursday. Next Thursday. Everybody watching this, everybody seeing this can all watch what Warzone is gonna potentially look like. It's gonna see the new movement mechanics and all that. And then a week from now, on next Friday, everybody here will be able to play the new game in the beta. So I mean, boys,
Multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. Not how y'all feeling going into it, man? I mean, I know we always say manage your expectations, but are you guys relatively on the like hyped scale? Or are you guys kind of like indifferent? Or are you guys like, nah, this shit's gonna be ass? I mean, JGOD, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. What you thinking?
Well, I think it's gonna be good, so that there's like more perspectives and to see kind of maybe what they've changed since we got a chance to play it. Because I think what ends up sucking is that like it's really hard to convey where the state of the game is or was because it was such a small snapshot.
Yeah.
I would say that our actual playtime was like 40 minutes, maybe. Like if you actually added up the minutes played, it was very little. So like there's things where it'd be like, oh, well, was that in the game? No clue. Wasn't enough time. Versus this will be a little bit bigger and then everyone will have eyeballs on it. So they'll notice the little nitpicky things. But also it'll be able to actually see it versus me saying, oh, the movement was good, but I only need it to be this good, right? But then Joe says the movement's good and he needs it to be this good though,
Yeah,
so
I feel that.
We have different perspectives of the game. And then a casual, they may not even need it to be good.
Don't care.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
You're kind of high for it though, like you think it's relatively?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I gotta be driving back and forth so I can make some content with it. But I think it'll be interesting, like, because I always appreciate the social aspect of it as well, because there's a lot of content creators gathered at one spot, and sometimes with conversation you might pick up an
Different
idea
things.
here or there. You kind of just see what people are doing. You get to know people personally versus like through a screen. There's a lot of variables.
Next is gonna be fun. Next can be fun, man. I mean, Ebatez in general, what you thinking about for next year? Are you what is your? I like your opinions on things because you keep it above 50 and you don't ever really cater to any side. But I guess for somebody who is like that, what do you kind of see with this next? With everything going on, are you excited for next year? Are you like, oh, they're gonna let us down again? What's kind of your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, first impressions from like what I've heard, I heard the game is good. Generally speaking, I know last year there was kind of a sentiment of like, oh, this game needs a lot of work. I know JGOD said like this game shouldn't come out for 7 months, like whenever you guys went and played it the first time. So
yeah,
it seems like as far as like from what I've heard, it seems like first impressions are pretty decent. And I think we had like a lot of step backs this year, but I feel like that criticism has been heard. And hopefully, moving into next year, the feedback's going to be, delivered on a more accurate note. So I think that next year should be good. Honestly, like I really do have a lot of high hopes for this next game.
Nice.
I don't see how they would take the feedback this year and really just be like, yeah, we're going to double down. Like there's just no way.
Yeah.
So like there's just no way. No, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a really, really good year.
Cool. Isaac, what about you, man? Talk to me.
Yeah, I feel like every year, whenever creators sound like they're excited, people are just like, "Oh, they're sellouts! Like it's copium." Legitimately, heading into COD Next last year, even after playing it, a lot of us were like, this could be really cool if we make these changes.
Yeah.
If not, it's gonna suck. And they made changes in the opposite direction, and it's been a horrible year. And so, like, I don't know if people heard that skepticism, but a lot of us were skeptical about last year's launch, and it turned into what we have now.
Yeah.
I am very optimistic about next year, and I'm like Ebates, typically pretty cynical, don't have a lot of trust in this team to do the right things.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, previous to this update, I was like over the moon excited. And then with this update and some of the things we're going to talk about in today's podcast, I'm like, well,
Yeah. Let me go.
they're consistent. You know, they're doing their thing again. So I don't.
So look, let's be honest here, right? That's a lot of the things is like a big thing is like it seems to be a recurring pattern that they always seem to somehow mess up something that wasn't really broken. Right? And it always seems to happen every year. And like, going into season 6, which is what we'll be talking about today, it's like we thought, it's probably going to be their best season yet. And they might make some good changes, specifically at least 3 of us here play ranked consistently, right? So we can speak to that side. As far as the content side of things, I think season 6 is going to be really good. Like the skins are dope, like all that shit, like the whole haunting of Mazra, it seems to be pretty cool. And I'm really glad that they decided to double down and like actually give us content to act like, do. But like, damn, bro, the whole rank thing is like, like I would say, like I have not seen anybody on Twitter gas up their whole rank changes. I've seen nothing but like negativity. And I'm gonna be honest, we can bring them up, right? And I'll pull it up here. But I was very like, I was like, okay,
Well,
go ahead, Jay, go ahead.
I'll say that like part of it is a little too soon. You need more people at the 15,000 to see that part, like how the scoring will work and how obtainable is 280 with a win.
Yeah.
I think that's really the determining factor. I think a lot of the negative stuff is related to them being silent on it. They knew they were making these changes before the update, well before it. There's no way they made it like, oh, you know what? Let's call an audible 6 hours before the update. No, that's not what happened. We know that's not what happened. So I think that's part of it, where people felt like blindsided, like they got hyped. They woke up probably early, downloaded their update. We're going to be, hey, who I need 2 for ranked at noon or whatever the hell the update was. And then you're ready to rock and roll. And then you're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the problem. And then the Alt+F4 hasn't been addressed. And then on top of that, people got reset to 0
for like a whole day and a half.
Yeah, and if you played on the account, I think it bugged your account too, and you got shadow banned or some stupidity.
Oh my god. Okay, I didn't know about that one.
And then there's a shadow ban system, which like inhibits playing too. So these are like jacked up things that aren't actually related to the game or the content, but like they could have communicated better or whatever. I don't know.
Well, they said that they were testing out, like for me, the biggest thing, obviously, like Alt+F4, it's abysmal that they haven't addressed that. Like it actually should have been addressed within like a week. Like Rated was tweeting, we'll cover that later. But like for me, the biggest thing is they lowered the player count from 150 to 102. And they said they were going to try that out in pubs and Al-Mazrah, and they did. And I haven't heard any gas about it. Everything that I've heard, people playing
People
pubs,
hated
like, it's so boring. Like there's no engagement on the map. You literally took away 30% of the players on the map.
Yeah.
And yes, you added gulag tokens, and yes, you added, flares and redeploy packs. But that's
Hey, the
not gonna result
redeploy
in
things
more
are crazy
engagement.
though. They probably saw like the 20 flares end game, and they're like, you know what? There's a lot of kills to go around.
Let's double down.
Let's double down.
This is like, if there's anything that Call of Duty can take from this, not even from ranked, and I just Call of Duty in general. If you guys want to clip this, post it on Pullze Check. Like I feel like this is a really important message. It's Call of Duty needs to be very careful on what they're doing with their BR, because if you continue to add like flares, gulag tokens, all these things, which I get it from a casual perspective, it could be fun. You start to slowly lose that line between resurgence and BR, and things start to, like, your life no longer has meaning to it. It's literally you don't play your life as much anymore. You're like, oh, you got a flare? Okay, cool, you do. Now I'm gonna go push this team. I'm gonna go fight. Like the lines are slowly starting to be blurred between the two, and I don't know, man. I'm not really at least personally, I'm not really liking this change, especially to ranked, especially when a ranked should feel like ranked. But that's, again, I've said this before, I've said this for like the longest time. Flares should not have been introduced to ranked. 100%, yeah, sure, have it in pubs, I get it if you guys want to have fun, but like ranked should feel like ranked, and there's no reason why like me and the boys should be playing wipe. Let's say for example, Soka squad, we fought them, or it was Skullface and them. We fought Skullface's team, wiped them, and then one person is still up. They flare, and then like they're running away, and then they land back. They pick up a flare, and then we have to fight them. We trade for like 10 minutes, just going back and forth.
Well, we even saw it in the World Series of Warzone.
Yeah.
Literally with 300,000 viewers watching that nonsense.
It just
No, it was insane.
and then
It was
like.
actually insane.
I'm with you though. I like it for pubs because when you're talking about playing your life and like playing disciplined Warzone, someone coming home from work doesn't give a crap.
And they don't care about that.
Like, they don't
Yeah.
care about their SR. They just want to shoot their gun, and if they're stuck spectating and then dying, then that ruins the whole loop, and they just want to get off for the night. But like, if you have that ability, I think it's fun. Like one of my favorite game modes of all time was Stimulus or buybacks. Where
Yeah,
if you had
those are
4K,
cool.
you were instantly bought back. Like that's if they had buyback solos right now, I don't think I would play ranked at all. I would drop everything and play that game mode because I love buyback solos.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, that's a pub thing where I'm just constantly moving, constantly being aggressive. But in ranked, yeah, it's
They
pretty
can't even give you solos. You got to play Al Mazrah Vandal.
rotation.
No way.
Keep in mind with
That
solos,
stuff
there's
is
no
whack,
flares.
bro. I don't know
Yeah.
what they tested, but I haven't even like going back. Maybe on Reddit, there's somebody gassing that up, but like I have never seen anyone gas up that
No
playlist
way.
rotation.
No.
Look,
Like
okay.
I think it's maybe better than not having the list at all, but like really, like why not just have both? and let people play?
Somebody has to really love Ashika Island. Like somebody's kind of like, that's my baby, and like I need this. I still need this. Like hanging on his last limb. Like it's
The
got. I don't
fortress
know.
they removed, right?
Yeah,
like they
I
just
seen
said,
that.
"Oh, that was an
Well, that-
experiment,
I
didn't work."
quit.
It was like gone in a week.
Yeah, they got roasted for that.
Cardo, people are gonna think you're being serious. Stop trolling in the chat, bro. all right, bro. Because people say things, and then this is gonna go on YouTube, and then people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, look, see, like, yeah, I already know this." All right,
Carter loves it. He loves it.
All right. So let's kind of go over the ranked changes, right? And I'm gonna bring it up here, and I have it pulled up on my end. Let's go over kind of everything. So. I'm not going to really go over all the little things that they changed. Let's more talk about the big stuff, right? So max player count, 102. Let's kind of dissect this. In my opinion, this is what I think they did. And to summarize everything, this is my initial thought. And I talked to a lot of people as well. And I think they agreed to this as well. It's max player count was dropped to 102. I'm assuming for server stability, which I think is a minor issue that I think why they did it. Server stability, faster queue times. And then I think the main reason why they did this, and again, like JGOD said, we're going to have to wait and see until a little bit later, but I think the main reason why that was implemented was more than likely because of the to make more lobbies competitive and to make the top end not have to be filled with bronze players, whatever, platinum players, all that stuff. And if you're top 50, you're only getting iridescent and crimson players. You're only getting the best of the best. That's what I think, right? And then I'm assuming that like the gulag token was put in there to make up for like the 1/3 like player drop, right? So I don't know, man. I like it's just it's yeah, go ahead.
I wish they
Isaac.
would convey that philosophy, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. It's been, dead silence on their end. But I mean, if you were to say, if they were to come out with a tweet and said, hey, we want to have 100-player lobbies because we're finding too many iridescent players in lobbies with platinums, and we want the skill base to be tighter and more lobbies to be more strict skill based.
Yeah.
I don't think people would complain.
No.
But then it also shows, like we kind of mentioned, a huge disassociation as to what's happening when we have a minus 280,
Yeah.
a third of the less players, and still no adjustment to taps. And I'm just predicting 2 weeks into the season, because keep in mind, this season for ranked is going to go all the way until what, December 5th, 15th, whenever they're going to launch the new game.
Yeah.
You're muted, Jay.
All right, he's talking in
around
chat.
that ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, what's going to happen if there is a soft ceiling? Obviously last season it was just whoever grinded the most. It was too easy to gain SR last season. But I mean, this may just turn into like, well, I'm soft capped at 14K, 15K, 20K, whatever your player base is, or maybe even platinum or diamond.
Yeah.
Then you're screwed for months. What are you gonna play?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, man, like, again, I don't know if that's the reason, right, of why they did it, but I would assume that that's like competitive lobbies is the only thing that would make sense to me. Like, that's the only thing. I talked to Shifty, he said the same thing. I talked to I talked to Sage, he said the same thing. And it's like, I don't know what exactly it is that like why they did it. I wish, again, one of the biggest things that I've always said is, why are they not vocal about things? What happened to that vocal? And I understand things that people are not always going to be like Raven Software. Where Raven Software back in Caldera and even at the end of Verdansk, they were like, they gave you detailed patch notes. They told you why they did things, and it's like, where is that level of transparency here? And maybe, you know, for all I know, they can't, right? Like the higher ups don't allow them anymore because too much backlash from the community. I don't know how any of this stuff works, but like, in my opinion, 102 player count. Again, I've played it for what, 2 days? You know, for a good, like every day or 2 days, right? For I guess 8 hours each day. And in my opinion, this 102 player count is an L. There are games where it feels like, okay, yeah, it's a little bit faster, or like it's a little bit like it stays the same pace. But then there's definitely more times than not where, I mean, I could pull up the VOD and have a game where I'm like, bro, we literally land Hydro, fly opposite side of Hydro, fly all the way downtown. It was just crazy. Had a UAV downtown, not seeing anything on that. We're like, bro, what did they do to Ranked? Fly all the way back Hydro, then go up towards Said, and finally find a team back at Said at the corner of the map. And it's like, we have UAVs this whole time. And I mean, I don't know, man. And like, okay, let's talk about this as well. Like, what does that mean for World Series of Warzone next year? Like, if they're going, I know we have a long time, right? We have a long time until then, right?
That's all I was about to say. I said, we're so far off from there.
Yeah, but
we're
like,
gonna have a completely different game in a couple months.
Oh, for sure. But like, you know, it seems like Call of Duty just keeps reducing the player count. We had Verdansk 150, then Caldera 125. Then here we went back up to 150, now 102. It's like they just keep reducing the player count. Why do y'all think that is?
I don't know. I did a spectating randoms like 2 weeks ago before we went to London, and it started with 70 players in the solo match. And I was like, bro, I might as well have jumped in Vondel. What the frick is this?
No.
Bro, I was recording a video for like those little jump spot videos that I do.
Yeah.
And I was playing solos, and I shit you not, I made it to 4th circle without a single person appearing on the map. I'm doing jump spots. I had 0 kills, and I'm like doing like, okay, so then you're gonna jump from up here to over here, and I would have to do multiple takes. I didn't see a soul until the 4th circle. It's barren.
Wow.
It's barren out there.
Oh wow, brother. Oh my god.
Yeah. So I don't know, and
But, like,
I don't know if
that's
the
the thing that blows
stability is
my
an
mind.
issue, because I don't feel like the stability. Everyone's like, oh, it's gotten better.
Or worse.
Or
I don't
worse.
feel like
It's
servers
like
have
the
been
same.
bad the last couple months.
Yeah, it
At
feels
one
like the
point
same.
During Verdansk, remember they had a 200-player battle royale? It was called like Massive Battle.
That shit was lit, bro.
200?
Insane. And here's what gets people excited. Like, remember what used to blow up the timeline in early Warzone? It was like, who's breaking world records? Or even back in Verdansk, it's like, I can't post a YouTube video unless it's a 30 bomb or a 40 bomb.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
and now
15.
Ranked, it's like, what do you even do? You go through a full ranked game, it's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, look, like what I've seen, obviously the servers were fucking horrendous at the start of the game. Like, bro, we had months of like, so I know what it's like to have really bad servers. Right now, like it's like at least for me personally, I'm speaking on personal experience. Like I've had one bad game, maybe like, or one laggy game every like 10, like, and that's like, I would say that's pretty accurate for me at least. I don't really get them that often. So
I think Vondel has more issues with the like stutteriness.
which is crazy to
I
me because they have
streamed
less
it for
players.
5 hours, and then I played it again twice for a couple hours yesterday, and it's like these little micro stutters, almost like we had in multiplayer. Like if you had to turn off of, I don't know, maybe it's my settings.
I mean, do you guys think, are they hinting towards like a smaller map / smaller player count in the future, like Apex? I hope not. I pray to
think this
God
is
not.
just more coddling to the player base. I think they just coddle to the lowest common denominator. They want more time of people sitting down looking inside of their backpacks because if there's too many engagements and they're just scared and they can't handle too much going on around them. And so I don't know. Maybe it's a server issue. I haven't seen any server issues on the games that I'm playing. I think it's legitimately just they're just trying to slow their BR down again.
There's probably a max like exodus of players right now, I feel like, too. Since it's like we're getting near the end of the cycle, maybe that's why they made lower lobby counts, just to fill lobbies quicker. I'm sure a lot of people are just like leaving the game and playing something else, and then, you know, kind of getting ready for the next COD.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think the 102 player count, my opinion, it was never really like hard to find lobbies at the even like top 250 lobbies at 150 players. I think we were fine. If anything, if I had the perfect, in my opinion, perfect formula, put that shit back to 150. Right, and then put take off flares, take off gulag tokens, and let the game play out like that, and then grab your data from there. Because in my opinion, I don't know, you guys let me know what you guys think, but season 3.5, when there was the half season of ranked, and season 4 was the best for like the best ranked ever, bro. It felt
Easily.
I was so mind blown at how perfect they got it first try. Like, yes, everybody complains about taps and all that shit. I get it. But like, for the most part, that shit was pretty damn near perfect. And now season 5, it's whoever grinded the most. And I feel like they knew they fucked up, right? Adjusted the SR. Now, again, we have to wait and see about a week or two, I would say, before we can actually give accurate like feedback. But even then, like right now, I don't know. I just don't think this was the move. I don't know. Boys.
We'll see. Like we were talking about earlier, like season 1 was insane, and like we saw a lot of people like hard stuck losing SR, which is kind of the fun of it. Like, you know, it's like ranked, like you get to like, I feel like now it's like whoever is just like, oh, tweeting need to, and they'll just play with whoever because they know they're gonna go up SR. I feel like it's kind of fun to like, you know, get a stacked team and be like, yo, I actually need a good team here to like go up SR. So it's good to see like the ceilings, but I mean, hopefully we get that this season. Like I said, time will tell. We need like probably what, couple weeks, maybe a week or something until we start seeing people losing SR. Yeah, so I think that'll be exciting.
I mean, yeah, Isaac, what do you think, man? I mean, in my opinion, I like nobody. I don't feel like the first 2 seasons of ranked were ever about who grinds the most. Like, I saw people getting hard stuck. Like, people were getting hard stuck at the beginning. Like, in first 2 seasons, people weren't just like, oh, let me just climb. Like, if you were climbing and not losing SR, it's because you had a goated fucking team and you guys were nasty.
Yeah,
like,
and it was a good day. You'd like tweet out, went up 1,000 SR.
Uploads.
Yeah,
you got like 4,000 SR yesterday, right?
I'd be in Discord. I'd be in Discord with friends. I'm like, yo, dude, like Isaac went up 1,000 SR today, bro. I'm gonna hit him up. Like,
now, like it's literally
you
just
would blacklist people because they would troll. I don't blacklist anymore.
We had that website. You had that website. You could keep track of who went up and down on SR, and I'm like, yo, Scumman's down 2K. Like, what's going on?
So, in my opinion, that shit was fucking damn near perfect at the beginning, and people were actually getting hard stuck. And now it's just like, bro, everybody.
And that's how it is in any other game. Valorant, Counter-Strike, Overwatch, League. Like, if you're hard stuck, you got to either find something to change about your own play style, you play with new people. I like the last previous seasons.
Yeah, look,
I was taking a look over here, speaking about numbers, kind of like, and this isn't objective, obviously, right? Because we don't have all of the information. But, you know, Ethan, you were talking about, you know, maybe the player base is going down, and that's why we need to lower it so we can have faster queue times. At least according to Steam charts, which obviously there's console, and a majority of console players are diehard COD fans, and that's the only game that they play. Whereas a PC Steam player, they have a wide library of games. Speaking in generalities, I have a Steam library. I'm a degenerate. I play COD only. So the last 30 days, there has been a 15% loss in players for Modern Warfare 2.
Damn.
And that's crazy considering the update just hit, right? Like there's not.
It should go up, like for like a slight, like, you know.
I think on the 17th it will probably have an oomph if the haunting is good.
Yeah.
Obviously the gameplay mechanics aren't going to change, but there might be people that are hyped because of what we see this week and with the beta. So it could have that double edge where the game's too good and you're like, fuck that, I'm going to wait till the new game drops.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Yeah. I mean, look, bro, somebody brought it up in the chat, and I think that's a really good point. Is like, okay, Diaz was playing every day for 4 hours a day and was able to secure top 10 in the first couple seasons, both back-to-back seasons, and like he wasn't going down, right? He superior, like far less time than anybody in that, like than in the top even 100. Like he had significantly less play time than everybody, and was still able to secure top 10. And like that just kind of shows, that's how it should be. If
it would
you're
be cool
good
to see the ranked leaderboard, kind of dictate like, oh, this is actually the best players. Like, you know, Dongy's a great player, but he was like miles ahead of everybody else, and it's like that's not 10K? Accurate. Yeah, he was. I mean, that's not an accurate representation of like how talented of a player he is, you know, versus everybody else. So it'd be cool to see somewhat of a representation of that.
That'd be lit if they had like time played versus like time played depending on your rank.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be nuts, bro. That'd be nuts.
Average strength of teammate or some shit.
But like even then, it's like bro, like now,
like he got carried.
Alt+F4. Okay, let's talk about that,
let's talk about it.
Alt+F4. What the, like, bro? Okay,
that's been in there since the beginning, right? Like just people. It wasn't widespread.
I don't think Alt+F4 was a thing like season 3.5 and season 4. I don't remember anybody Alt+F4ing. It wasn't until season 5 where like, yo, this new thing came up Alt+F4ing. Correct me if I'm wrong, boys. I mean, I don't know.
Unless there was someone doing it on the low, It wasn't really a well-known thing until like Rated tweeted about it, and then like everyone started tweeting about it because it was becoming a widespread issue. So either some people knew it on the low and weren't telling anybody.
So that makes sense. Someone in my chat saying that it's related to the reconnect feature. So whenever they implemented the reconnect feature, that because you know how you get the 0 SR, whatever, it probably bugs out related to that.
Okay.
So yeah, that makes sense.
Are we sure it still works though? Has anyone tested?
Reconnect feature, it does connect.
No. Sorry, Alt+F4 for 0 SR.
Yeah, it still works. It still works.
Okay.
Like I haven't seen it, but like I haven't seen somebody do it on stream because if you're fucking doing that shit on stream, you're fucking weird. Even if you're doing it in general, you're fucking weird. But I'm like yes, it should still work. I haven't seen anybody tweet out it's fixed too. So I mean, what the like again, bro? It's like why the fuck do we even play? Like why are we even fucking playing? Yeah. Again, I don't mind. I don't mind if there's problems going on, but like be transparent. That's my opinion. Like, okay, if they're like, for example, if Call of Duty tweeted out like, hey guys, Alt+F4 is still a thing, but like we're trying our best, we're running into issues, whatever. They never do that.
They said there'd be a penalty because they've done things for boosting in the past, whether you boost camos, XP, whatever. Then to basically go, you're gonna get hit with the you're gonna be reset to 1 if you're gonna see even the threat alone. People would be like, nah,
I'm done. Yeah.
All it takes is like, hey, we are investigating an ongoing issue. There will be a penalty for or something along those lines. Apex, I've retweeted a couple of their times. They had an issue with people dashboarding in Apex, and they corrected it each season that it happened. And like I was able to figure out, I did a whole video dedicated to this. I just went onto that Warzone Ranked site that Ethan was talking about earlier, where you could see how much someone was climbing and declining, and you would see someone would have like a 2-hour gap in their gameplay, and then it would be positive, and then like an 1.5-hour gap, and then positive, and they were on like 40 positive streaks. So they went like 40 games in a row going positive, when like Soka, who's an ultra sweat, or Rated, who's an ultra sweat, had only gone like 8 on their best in the entire season. Nobody's. Full disrespect, absolute nobodies getting 30 streaks and like stroking their ego about it. Like,
I mean, I don't know, man. It just like, again, in my opinion, it's just like if we had some transparency, I think that's where the disconnect comes. But again, I understand, man, because with transparency comes fucking the toxicness as well. Look at XDefiant, bro. They've kind of they started their whole platform off being super transparent and telling them about everything. But then what's his name? The guy who created the lead dev tweeted out saying that like, yo, something along the lines of like, we're super vocal, but as well, like people, because we're so vocal, people talk shit about everything that we do, and people are like if we fail a test of like that they're doing like this whole test where like they have to pass it in order for the game to come out, and we fail it, people are like, oh, you guys are bums, I can't believe you're failing that, L company, all this stuff, and it's like it comes with it. So I can see why maybe Call of Duty is like, you know what, let's take off that negative like energy by just not going radio silent, like, and the only people that are gonna complain about it is gonna be the diehard sweats. So like that's what I think is going on. Like they stopped the communication because the only people that really care about the communication are us. The people like the people that are sweating, the people that play this game every day, the casuals. I don't think casuals like, oh, let's see what they and like.
Well, to be fair, they're getting to gold or platinum, right? That's it.
Yeah. True. Gold. But I mean, I don't know, man. It just seems tone deaf, in my opinion. Again, like nothing but respect to them, all right? I'm not talking about individual devs or anything like that, but it's just like, damn, 102 player count really did decrease the momentum of the game. And then like gulag tokens, again, my opinion, shouldn't be in any ranked playlist. There shouldn't be, flares, again, shouldn't be in the game in ranked. I don't know. That's kind of my opinion, but I don't know what you guys think.
I'd rather have more buy stations across the map than more flares.
Oh,
so then you're still working towards like, because if there were no flares and the same amount of buy stations, because buy stations are rare across the map right now, then it would be like you've got kids camping buy stations and can't regain, and so that could be a little bit frustrating. But going back to your thing on like them being quiet, I think they were getting hell for the last 8 months because when they were vocal about their philosophy of the game. And so when they're talking about how they wanted to slow down or be more grounded or like, all the stuff that they were talking to us about movement, like, oh, we're going to increase the movement and you're going to feel yourself moving faster after diving. When I dive, I still fall into a coma before I can shoot my gun. And so I think that's where they're going to get roasted. Is like they, for the last 8 months, were trying to shove their philosophy down our throats when we fell in love with the game 3 years ago. That was radically different than what they're trying to diverge away from. And so rightfully so, I think they deserve a public backlash because the numbers show it across streamer numbers, YouTube numbers, player count numbers. They killed their game. And so I think if they were to be open about technical issues, like, hey, we're tracking this Alt+F4 issue, or hey, we're having some server instability stuff, at least in my opinion, I think people would be a little bit more understanding of a technical issue of like, even if it's a, hey, we're struggling on the anti-cheat side or whatever we're struggling with, if it's a difficult issue to solve, I can be patient with it if you give me transparency. If you're silent, I'm just going to assume the worst and I'm going to be pissed at you.
Yeah.
If it's philosophically and I disagree with you philosophically, I'm going to tell you what I disagree with. But that's a conversation. That's a dialogue of like, hey, here's where I want to take the game. If there's something that they're struggling with server-wise or technical-wise, I can't argue with you. That's over my head. I was like, all right, bro, I trust you. But silence, I think, is the worst you could do.
Agreed. I mean, let's just hope. I don't know. Remember, we've seen a big change depending on who's in charge, right? Every year. So obviously, Verdansk was a little different. Caldera was definitely hella different. Now, like going into Modern Warfare 2, there was like no communication at all. Now going into Modern Warfare 3 with Sledgehammer taking over, I you know, if anybody's listening, man, I would really hope that you guys can be vocal and, you know, build that relationship with the community, because let's be honest, we're all with a huge sense of just distrust with, you know, Call of Duty at the moment. And even when I've played the game, JGOD's played the game, and I'm so excited because I'm like, holy shit, this is what the community's been wanting, bro. There's still that voice in the back of my head that's like, yo, they might fuck it up. like, yo, they're gonna change something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I should never have to feel like that, right? Like, we should be like, see something, actually play it, and then be like, holy fuck, this is gonna be amazing, and not have any second doubts, and not be like last year where it's like, okay, the game's bad. They're saying they're gonna take our feedback, and then.
Yeah, there should always be improvement, because like I know last year too, they had like bunny hopping in the beta and stuff, and then they took it away. So I definitely get that, because it seems like sometimes there's just no improvement. It feels like always a step back.
Well, that's one of the things I think with MW2, at least from my perspective, is normally when you make changes, like they can be good or like okay, right? But they can't be bad. Yeah. So I think a lot of what MW2 is, they made changes that for me just felt bad. Whether it's like, oh, they could change that, and it's like, oh, it's a non-issue. Like, it's not bad enough for me to care about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, it's a non-issue. Or, damn, that's actually kind of cool. And normally when you make changes, it should be either one that people don't really care about, or it's something cool. It should never be bad. And like MW2 and Warzone, it was just like, all right, let's list 100 things in the game that changed. All right, bad. Okay, average, bad, average. Okay, there's one good thing. Bad. You know, it's like, that's how it felt. So hopefully any of the changes they've made are either ones that are non-issues that nobody cares about. Yeah. Or don't impact it. You could take it either way, or they're good, and that's kind of where we're at.
I mean, let's talk about Warzone, right? Like, going into this next year, there's, I'm careful with what I'm allowed to say and whatnot, but like, I'm like, it all, the only thing that matters is how it starts. Let's just be honest. Like, Warzone, depending on how Warzone starts in December, that's the only thing that fucking matters. That, like, look at history of Caldera and Modern Warfare 2 or Warzone 2. The start has been fucking ass. Horrible. Let's just be honest, right? Like, and then it's not until 5, 6, 7 months into the game, it's like, okay, this shit's not bad, but there's nobody left to fucking see that it's not bad. Like,
exactly.
You know, so it's like,
well, I think Caldera experienced that exact, like, this year. It was like almost a carbon copy. You had the good features. It was feature rich, and it became more feature rich throughout the year. Yeah. But it started off horrendous. Yeah. Like, They even changed the rules. Remember, there was like no loadouts. You couldn't buy them until like zone 3 or some shit. Like they basically made all the same mistakes that we had in this one, but you couldn't go to the buy station to buy your gun. So it was even worse in Caldera when it first came out. Then they had some crazy planes that people would abuse.
Bastards.
Yeah,
yeah, those guys stink, man. Those guys stink.
Yeah, I mean, like who the hell thought that was a good idea for the battle royale? Like maybe an LTM that would have been sick with the Godzilla event, but that wasn't even like, I don't know. They made a lot of missteps during that year, but the end, the gameplay and the loop was good, and it was in a state that. But then it's like, oh no, let's do it again. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna assume, and again, I'm not saying nothing. I'm just assuming that they're gonna have to hit the ground running when Warzone comes out this year. The integration, they cannot have a repeat of the last 2 years. They need to have a good game. Warzone needs to be good off launch, because Caldera, even though they fucked up, they kind of rescued themselves, because the player count was the same player count that they had at the end of the game. At the start of Warzone and the end of Warzone, they had the same amount of player count, and they tweeted that out because they knew that was their W. They knew like that's a big deal. If your game starts off at a certain amount of numbers on launch and it ends at relatively the same numbers, that's a huge W, because that means, you know, like a full cycle. Like
they went like,
massive half pipe, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like that should show them, yo. Now look at this year. We did not get our player base back. We are down horrendously. So it's like, okay.
I think there was only one update, like that, where there was a slight like stop, but I know Isaac probably has it right there, but where there wasn't loss for the first time this year, and it was negligible.
Yeah,
it was basically a flat line.
In May, they were minus 20%. So it was March minus 10%, April minus 6%, May minus 20%, and in June plus 1%. We're still down over 100% year over year, but
yeah, I mean, that should kind of tell you something, right?
In November of this is only Steam numbers, because it's the only objective numbers that we have access to.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, I don't like Activision numbers, because the numbers that they report are monthly active users. So whenever they give all their quarterly reports, it's like monthly active users. Oh my God, it's so high. Oh, that only means that they signed on for the game one time. And that largely means
if you log on different titles, it tracks you twice.
This guy knows. So if someone signs on and they're like, oh, fuck this, and then never sign on again, they still count as a monthly active user. But Steam just tracks peak players. So it's how many people are concurrently playing the game and in love with it. So in November of 2022, when Modern Warfare 2 dropped, it had 488,000 peak players on Steam, not counting consoles, Battle.net, any of that. Repullze, I sent you these numbers via Twitter. Right now, in the last 30 days, you know how we were at 488,000? Anyone want to guess what the peak player base was for the last 30 days?
60, right?
Just take off the 4, 88,000.
No.
88,000 compared to 488,000. We're down.
And games
like
generally do drop off. But
80%?
Yeah, games do drop off. Normally games do drop off. But if you look examples like Apex, they maintain their players way better than COD does on Steam.
Yeah. I mean, that goes without saying, right? There's a lot of other
things, but either way, it's not good.
Yeah. So that's what makes me wonder about the server count stuff. Like, you guys remember when Warzone 1 first went ballistic. They were smashing Fortnite's records. They were smashing Apex's record. It was like 50 million downloads, something in like 2 weeks, like blew every game out of the water.
Right.
We didn't have server issues back then. I don't remember having server issues during Warzone 1.
Only thing we had issues with hackers, brother. I don't think we had server issues. At least, you know? No?
Yeah, at least we didn't have hackers until like late, like maybe like 6 months into Warzone or something.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there were stretches where the servers were bad.
Yeah,
I actually don't remember the servers being bad.
The train was in the game or something weird, like the underground subway. I don't know if it was related to that, or the doors falling out of the sky, or the meteors coming out. Whatever the hell they had, those animations. I think it was a little laggy.
Red doors.
It wasn't
Red doors.
Red doors was fun. Those were fun.
Oh man, bro. Dude. Oh man, bro. Like. Okay, so I don't know, man. I think we've gone through this same like kind of cycle continuously in multiple podcasts and stuff like that, but it's like we're just passionate about this fucking game, man, and we have a very good opportunity here where you know we've heard The movement's good. JGOD and I played it. We obviously there are rumors. This is not from me. This is like metaphor leaks and all that stuff saying that the new Warzone map is inspired heavily by Verdansk. Like it feels like we're headed in the right direction, man. And we're like, oh damn, you know, like it might actually be good this year. But again, we have no idea until next Thursday, man. But I know if anybody's watching, we're just like, yo, like just it matters. Like December matters. When Warzone launches, when it releases, it matters how good it is. Like it really does. Because I mean, JGOD, do you think if it's ass, let's just look at, God forbid, right? We go next week and it's not good. Do you think they should wait to release the game?
They won't release it late, no matter what.
Damn.
It could be
It's Q4
impossible to
earnings.
play, and they'll still launch it. That window is hard stuck. November
Yeah.
10th. It will not change.
There's too much marketing that like they put
No
into,
matter
like, that
how
day,
much
yeah.
it is chalked.
Because
Yeah.
they do like what athletes and rappers and all those like celebrities.
Yeah,
that they
true,
have to-
true,
yeah.
true. I didn't even think
There's
about
no
that.
way.
I don't think it's gonna be chalked, but
Yeah, I mean, well, you never know. Go ahead.
but Warzone could be delayed. Who knows?
This
Yeah,
is
that's
like
why.
kind of off. This
Like,
is
they
like kind
could-
of off topic, but something I was thinking about for Warzone 2. Like we've had the same gulag for like 4 seasons now, right? Or something crazy. Like, dude, that is important for the next Call of Duty or next Warzone 2 because dude, even the little things like that, man. I'm like, I get to learn a new gulag and all these little things that keep me
Yeah,
going.
the
you know?
first gulag, it was the 2v2, and then it went to the 1v1, and then it came out with this one, which that was it. Like
Dude,
that was
look,
literally
There's no
it.
way this gulag wasn't a remap 2v2 gulag. It's massive. This had to
Yes,
be a
for
2v2
sure.
gulag.
It was 2v2 for sure.
Yeah.
So here's also like my question to this is like, okay, go like Warzone 1 had it perfect in my opinion. I'm not talking Caldera. I'm talking about Verdansk. They had, and people don't even bring this up. And it's like, bro, they had new gulags almost every season, every other season, bro,
Yeah.
right? And then new ground loot every season. We like the little things like that is like, bro,
Yeah.
where did that shit go? Like, why do they not do every once in a while do like a different change to a POI, change different things? Like, it's like, bro, like all this game needs, listen, if they want Modern Warfare or Warzone 3, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to succeed, we need frequent updates and changes to meta. We need map changes. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just give us a little something every season. A season is what, like 2 months? Every 2 months
It
to
has
just
been, yeah.
yeah, 2 months, 2 to 3 months to just change one POI, change it a little bit, add a new POI, whatever the case may be, right? Make frequent gun changes, right? And then change little things, change ground loot, change the gulag. Like I feel like, again, I'm not a dev, but I feel like these are things that we're not asking for the world.
When they when they did Verdansk to like what Verdansk 1984 or whatever, and they added that giant metal skyscraper on like not TV station, but
Nakatomi?
next to that. No,
Oh,
not
no,
that.
that was Cold
There was
War
like a
integration.
giant metal thing up by Quarry, but like even stuff like that, man. Like it
Oh,
was
the satellite,
yes,
right?
the giant satellite. I mean,
actually don't
like it
remember
was
that.
horrible to like camp on top of or whatever, but still, like just something like that. Like it's just a huge change that like you get to learn something new on the map. It's like there's new jump spots and new chests, new regain, whatever. Like it's just little stuff like that. Like it adds a huge like dopamine feeling to everything.
Do you guys think is it a financial issue?
There's
Like I'm
no
being
way.
dead ass.
I
I'm being
don't
so
know.
dead ass. Like,
Because they already have these 2v, well, going back to the other part, the 2v2 maps, they already have them in the gunfight playlist. I think they even have like a 1v1 playlist or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you queue up in multiplayer and do that, that map looks different than it is in the gulag because it has the little rafters for the outside people to spectate essentially. So that's all they'd have to do is just like put that on, whatever that takes. You already have the assets made.
Yeah.
Like
they're
you just
spending a
make
lot
an
of-
Alta version with rafters or whatever you
Yeah.
want to put up. Like
think
I
they're
don't
spending a lot of
know.
resources on things like DMZ and raids. Like when you think of a
Yeah.
raid, that's like an entire ass campaign mission.
Yeah.
All new things that we've never seen before that you're working your way through. Like imagine in the time it takes to build one
I
raid.
think they're
they
different
could have
people,
built, like,
though. I think they're different people. I would
Yeah,
say.
but during Modern Warfare 2019, that wasn't continuation content. That content didn't exist. That they were constantly doing raids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
it definitely
I
is
think they
different
had
people,
co-op
but
missions, but
it definitely is different people. But remember, they're all getting pooling money from the same source. So like
budgets wise.
yeah, budgets wise, like yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if DMZ took a big budget of Warzone. Like like that's
Easily.
something. Yeah, that's something that's
Had
not
to
hard
be.
to conceptualize or to think about. Like for sure, they have a certain budget for the game with everything included, and I'm sure they pull from, you know, they're all asking one person for money or one company, right? Like Blizzard, right? It's Blizzard, right? Because
Well,
Activision
I'll
is a
even
Blizzard
add to
company.
this. Like, why didn't they make the gulag from Vondel the same?
Yeah,
Like, they could have just
Yeah, Showers Gulag. I would have taken that.
For
like
sure.
yeah. Why did they not give us that? Like,
like for both and just vault the other one. You know, it's been 4 months, guys. Let's
Yeah,
you know,
like,
it's
it's okay to
None of the devs
reuse it,
play
yeah.
Warzone, so whenever they play it, they feel like it's fresh because all the devs play DMZ.
no.
That's not like a conspiracy theory. We
Not the
talked to
DMZ
them at their
dads.
studio, and that's true. Like whenever we were walking around, you were there, Jay. Whenever we did the first test of Vondel, they were
Don't
like,
bring
"Oh
me
yeah,
into
we-
this.
yeah, they play DMZ, bro. That's all they play. Not all of them, but like." you
Now
know,
it's
and
DM
God bless them.
zombies.
If they love it, that's cool.
DM
but, like,
zombies, yeah.
oh man.
Yeah.
Or even the concept of a rotating gulag. That's something I've mentioned before,
For sure.
where they keep it in. I'm sure that tiny map, so you would get the season 1 gulag, whatever the hell you know that one was called. Then you'd have the current gulag, and then it could cycle through. So each time you went to the like in that individual match, so in case you went to the gulag multiple times, it'd be the same gulag for that map. You know, it'd be an RNG type thing.
I mean,
Yeah, that's cool.
If
I
they
like
had,
that.
we just need changes, bro. We just need frequent changes. Again, if they're talking about money, all right, change the metas every month to where if a cool gun comes out in the item shop or whatever, like we're like, yo, that's not meta now, but maybe in a month it is. I'm gonna buy it no matter what. Like I don't know that. They're selling the bag. We talked about this in the last podcast, but like, where are the gliders? Where are the smoke trails? Where are there's so many ways that they
Hey,
can
these
make money.
skins though in the battle pass are good though.
Yes, yes, for sure.
They
I
have
like
crushing cosmetics.
We need more
Hey, and-
reactive camos too, because I
They are
remember
selling the shit out
Camos.
of the black cell, because when I was playing multiplayer and I was playing Vondel, probably over my 7 hours of playing, I would say that 80% of my teammates are freaking black cell skins. So either that's the
Damn.
matchmaking or some other nonsense.
Damn. Yeah, I mean,
It's
shit.
a lot.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. We
I'm
digress.
cool
a
with
little.
them making money off of cosmetics. Like I think
For
all
sure,
of
yeah.
them need to get paid, and this isn't a cheap operation to keep it all going nonstop. So by
Yeah,
all
for
means,
sure.
secure the bag. Cool cosmetics, I'll buy them all day. But like, I'll be more
Fix the game too.
optimistic. Yeah, well,
yeah, that
I'm
too.
more optimistic to buy stuff if the game's in a good spot. But
For
like you
sure.
said, like we've had some guns that have been pretty much meta for the last 8 months. Like, I mean, don't
MP5.
get me wrong, I love my MP5, and I'm getting a little bit tired of shooting it. Like, I think after a few months, we shouldn't just try to get everything perfectly balanced to where they're all just perfectly line on line. Every here and there, take a gun out to the back shed and just put it down. I'm serious. Like, because whenever we had guns like the Bruin or the Grout or like the Kilo used
Yeah.
to be it.
Oh,
But then eventually
yeah.
they said, fuck the Kilo. Something else is taking its limelight. And
Yeah.
then we would have a new meta, and it was exciting. And it was like, this is the gun you have to use.
Yep.
And like,
Yep.
I would like, for there to be like a little bit, Cold War AK-47 is good, but has a little more recoil. XM4 isn't as good, but has less recoil. Krig, EM2. And it was kind of like this nice balance. But every here and there, they would just choke slam one of those guns. But like, whenever they nerf guns right now, it's like, you'd see it. Everyone makes all these Twitter graphs. It's like, red, Cronin Squall is nerfed. And you go and shoot it, and it's like, no, this is the same gun that I shot. And like they would nerf the damage range. We're like, damage range drop off is now, instead of 26
1 meter.
meters, it's 25.5 meters.
Yeah. I like, look, I think there's a lot of things that.
They literally did that with the M4. Everyone's
Literally,
like,
right?
that shit. I saw all the YouTubers, not you guys. I don't know if you guys posted it, but it was like, the M4 is godly now.
It's
and
back.
it was literally from like 25 meters to 26 meters. That was the change.
Hey,
I
Jay
was
God's got
like,
all the
bro.
statistics. Jay God's got all the stats. I don't know,
Bro,
bro.
I was like, they messed up on that one. People were gassing the shit out. It feels good, bro. It's
Everybody
like, no.
everybody wants the MP5. I mean the M4 to be meta, bro, but it's
Yes.
just not.
At
They
least
want it.
once.
I get it. The nostalgia factor was meta at the start of Warzone 1. I get it, but like,
Yeah. What I was going to say is that new gun, it's off topic, but weapon related. The new gun, I don't know if you guys have messed with it at all or much.
I have,
But try it with the VLK. It's kind of weird. That
Really?
it actually looks like closer to Warzone 1 visual shake.
Huh.
really? Okay, I'll try that shit today.
Like less visual recoil than all the other guns?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Maybe they're maybe they're saying something going
Maybe
into
that's
Modern
a
Warfare
teaser
3.
from them. I don't know. Or maybe
Yeah,
that's
I
just
don't know.
placebo and that gun's an exception. But yeah, definitely try it. And
Okay.
you get way more zoom too. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. All right, look, we digressed a little bit. Let's. I want to kind of try to get back to ranked real quick. Because I just realized I'm like, yo, we've only gone over one bullet point, bro. And that's 102 player gun.
Two.
Yeah, I mean, what was the other one? What do you mean?
Well, Alt+F4 and changes to rank.
You're right.
All right, let me say one last thing before we pivot. I'll let you full pivot. For the Alt+F4 thing, people have so much cynicism towards Call of Duty and Activision for their apparent lack of efforts on an anti-cheat. And I genuinely believe the Ricochet team is trying their absolute hardest, but there is millions to be made on an anti-cheat. So for a public perception standpoint, it makes the company look horrible that while you may be fighting the good fight trying to defeat the anti-cheat and the bastards that keep making these cheats that are ruining our game, if you have ultimate control over the SR system and you can easily see through your metadata, if I can get it through a third-party website, figure it out, imagine the back-end data that they have, and they are negligent and not fixing that, it ruins all good faith on their other legitimate anti-cheat efforts.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Side note, speaking of anti-cheat, I know, again, it's probably not going to be fixed, but I'm going to continue to say it because I've been saying it for like the last 6 months, but people still tweet JGOD and I saying that we don't do enough. So, hey, Shadowban issues, please. Like, don't understand why shadow banning is still a thing. So many streamers, even regular fucking players, fuck streamers, bro. Like, regular players keep getting shadow banned, and it's like, bro, like, you can tell by the people that are getting shadow banned, they have no formula as to why, what they shadow ban you for. So it's like, brother, like I've had Jimmy's and Timmy's getting shadow banned for whatever reason. Yep. It's like, so.
Well, you know what's weird is there's a lot of issues related to it too. Like, for example, remember we were talking about the skin on the last podcast. But there's also a new skin that dropped this morning or yesterday.
I think I
does the same thing.
Wait, what?
What happens is it dropped in the store on mobile first, and while it dropped in the store, people bought it, and then now you get a 30-day temp ban.
Yeah, somebody got banned. I saw a video of it. Somebody got banned for it today.
What?
It's the witch one or whatever.
Yeah,
it's supposed to drop in like 3 weeks.
Oh, but it came on mobile. So because it was on mobile, people went mobile, bought it, and then
probably.
We talked about this 2 days ago.
Somebody who does mobile content was like, "Hey, new skin in the store, go buy it," and then everyone's like, "Oh shit, new skin." They went on mobile, bought it, and then they played it on Warzone and.
Yeah, that's like I'm saying is it
like
feels
that's
like
ridiculous.
It feels like there is no set reason for why people get shadow banned, and even when you try to reach out, like they don't really communicate with anybody. I mean, I've reached out, and be honest, like I've reached out, I'd be like, hey, is there this is some feedback, and I haven't gotten a response. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to do because I feel bad for these people, man. I feel bad for a lot of these guys.
The problem is it ends up being more of a punishment than it would be to actual cheaters because like the regular people that get shadow banned, they usually don't have alt accounts. Mm-hmm. I mean, some people will tell you, oh yeah, I got shadow banned on my 4 alt accounts. Like, well, that's a problem. But actual cheaters, they're going to burn through their accounts. If they get shadowed or perma, they just go to the next account, use a spoofer, whatever the fuck they got to use, and they just keep going. Whatever they cost them, no, I don't know, but they still playing. Meanwhile, the guy who just got reported a bunch or whatever, he whatever, I don't know. He didn't do anything, but bought a skin. He can't even play the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I tweeted this out, and I don't know what the legality is. I'm sure, of course, whenever you sign up for a code of conduct TOS, they're covering their ass, but. Dude, when some players are spending hundreds of dollars on this game by the time you buy the Ultimate Edition, buy the in-game content, and then all of a sudden you're locked out of playing the game, legitimately cannot play for months at a time without breaking any rules, like, I'm surprised they haven't gotten sued at this point. Like I said, there might be a frivolous lawsuit, there might be nothing to it, but this isn't a small issue for 1 or 2 players. This happens so widespread,
and it's been going on for so long because I think Jake Lucky did a thing about it like 2 years ago. I think Charlie Intel, Modern War, obviously all the news accounts, like that it's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping that one of these days they just say, hey, we no longer are shadow banning anybody. We're getting rid of that system because there's definitely better ways than to track cheaters than to just shadow ban people, especially when, like, it sucks, man. It really does suck to see people like Gorgo, like Aiden Beans, like all these guys, even Dongi, like all these guys who want to try to make a career out of streaming. And I mean, I know like fuck streamers, right? But I'm just saying in general, like a lot of these guys put their everything and give up everything to do this shit, and then they're kind of like stuck with being shadow banned and they can't do anything about it, let alone like the you know, the casual people who come and play. And I know a lot of casuals that get shadow banned, and I'm like, bro, how? Like I don't know what the criteria is, but figured I would
it's
bring
funny
it up.
too, because obviously the reporting feature is supposed to be there to help with Ricochet, right? Like they work hand in hand. Like Ricochet still does his thing reporting, but the reporting system also sucks, because when you go to reporting, all it says is cheating, right?
Yeah.
But like, well, how? So if the person thought they were aimbotting, walling, were they doing an unlock tool like we saw? I don't know if you guys saw Knight's tweet where he was somebody like loading in on the same plane as him. He reported his teammate, and the guy just disappears, which is good. The guy had an unlock tool and was cheating, so he could report him for both, right? But it only just says cheating. And then Ricochet has to figure out, like, how do they know why this person's being reported? Is it just an unlock tool? What is it? It's not descriptive enough. I don't know.
But even the people that are getting kicked out of lobbies, I don't know if you've seen it in multiplayer.
Yeah, he just rejoined.
Ricochet banned, they could just join the next lobby. They just re-queue into the next fucking game.
Yeah, because he was shadowed. They were shadowed, not actually banned. That's the problem. So he was able to just join his recent.
Yeah, I don't know, bro.
Which doesn't rely on the same matchmaking, I guess. I don't know. It's dumb.
This shit should just be a thing. I don't know. Shadow banning, get it out. Find a different way. Like, find a different way. Shadow banning is not the solution. Just gonna end it there, man. Because holy shit, I don't even know how that's still in, bro. Anyways, but JGOD, I wanted to ask you this, man. I feel like you probably know these crazy analytics for this shit. I'm looking at the circle timing for the changes to ranked, right? The game pretty much got faster, correct? With the new changes?
Yeah, they shaved 3 minutes off the first zone. Basically, that's what it says right there. Shaving off 3 minutes off the first zone's logic.
Okay.
So the beginning of the game should move a lot faster, and you should, like, there should be less time, like, lollygagging in the zone, because the zone's already, like, starting to collapse much quicker, and then it's going to move faster, too. So you just have to be prepared to get your ass moving.
Yeah.
Which should make the zones a little bit faster, which offsets the player
count. Yeah.
But the problem with that too is then people are going to die faster because the zone's collapsing faster. Yeah. And the POIs are probably going to be more contested because people are have limited options on where they're going to land.
Oh yeah, because the circle is smaller now. Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, like I really,
because obviously if you made like a POI that was only over Al Mazrah City, like all 100 players would land in Al Mazrah City. You know what I mean? Like you're just manipulating the player's behavior.
Mm-hmm. Like this, like I like this. I will say this. I really like the transparency here and them telling us why they did it. Again, I wish they did this for like everything. So like for example, the player count. Why did they do it? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? And then loot. Gulag entry kits added. Why? This is a fun feature. This is not a ranked feature. Don't know why they added that. Again, these are all things. Even playing the game for, I don't think I ever had a game in the last two and a half seasons of ranked that we played 3 seasons where I went, got a stronghold for free, nobody contested me, popped the UAV, went to the other side of Hydro, nobody there with the UAV, took the zip to a city, popped the UAV, didn't find anybody. I have the VOD if you know anybody wants to see it, like, and then came back Hydro again, popped the UAV, nothing, and then flew finally to Saeed, found somebody at the edge, like, and that's beginning game. That's the begin. Like, like, I don't think I've ever had that ever. Like, this should not, in my opinion. I don't know. I really hope they, and I hope that they don't wait till next season because a new game comes out, right? Like
a lot of times the stuff with the seasons though, they generally wait, except for like a quick rule change, like the shotgun. They got that instantly rule changed.
Yeah.
But that's a simple thing, right? You just ban an attachment. But
I mean, I don't know. I'm okay with increased like time to queue, like increased time that it takes to find a match, if that means like higher skilled lobbies. But like I'm saying the whole 100 player drop off maybe for more skilled lobbies. Okay, then leave it at 150, but take your time matchmaking. I think I've seen other ranked like playlists literally take like a lot, like 10 minutes to queue, so that way they can get a really competitive lobby. And then we'll start seeing people actually like getting hard stuck. So I don't know. I just think 100 players is not the play. It changes the dynamic completely. And I mean, I'm hoping that they can figure it out, man, because this is, in my opinion, not the play.
Yeah.
So, and then they did add, I will say this, I really like what they did here with the deployment fees. This is a good way to combat like the whole hard stuck and people just grinding SR. Basically, max fee went from 230 to 280. What y'all think about this? I think that's great. Again, we don't know how
We
crazy
actually
it's.
suggested this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
season and a half ago, because they upped the, or last season because they upped the 50. We just said make it 50 more penalty, and that's
Yeah.
basically what they've done.
Yeah.
Doesn't this basically just change like the median of like where like the average players are?
It would,
So,
no,
like,
Yeah.
this would be more
Yeah.
where the top level stands, right? The 230
Yeah,
to
so that's what he's talking about.
Right.
So this is the thing that we were talking about before. This change literally doesn't impact anyone except for
top
the
250.
top 15,000
Right.
SR people.
yeah.
So the people that were in gold before, they were probably in platinum this season. That will just hold true. But now the top end will also like get a crunch on that end
Yeah.
because they're negative 50 SR.
I mean,
So
yeah.
basically have to win.
I think this is good. This is good. Again, we don't know how it's going to play out because it's only been out for 2 days. I'm going to give it to the next week to figure out, like, I'm going to be honest, it's going to be probably a while till I play ranked because, well, just this week, then next week, COD Next, come back beta, and probably like next Monday. But yeah, I mean, we'll see how this, we'll see how this plays out.
Already planning.
Yeah, right. I don't, again, great 230, 280 SR. I think that's great. I love that. Again, now I don't think like Alt+F4ing has definitely, like, this doesn't matter of when Alt+F4 is still a thing. I would hope they come out with some communication ASAP to this. And then obviously 100 player counts, definitely bring that back up to 150. But I don't know, boys, any thoughts on this before? Oh yeah, wait, we can't forget. We can't forget. Listen, man, we can't
your
forget
truck skin?
the player rewards, bro.
Your truck skin's gas, bro.
Listen, you know what? I didn't know this. I was made aware of this maybe like during like a week or two after the last season came out, season 4. But I thought we were about to get like new camos every single what's it called? Every single
New gun camos.
yeah, new gun camos every single time. But I mean, I don't think so. But we get vehicle skins. Yeah, I don't know,
Hey,
boys.
the Crimson one
4
looks sick.
LTVs on the entire map. So good luck.
Yeah. That's rough, boys. That's rough. I would assume, again, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I would assume there's not enough money to, like, because I know it does cost a lot of money to make camos, make operators, make, like, so I don't know. I don't know why, like, it, like, even
Well, half their camos are from Warzone 1 anyways. They're just rehashed, reskin. They took the hue slider, slid it a little bit, and republished. Like, okay, some of them are badass, but let's not pretend like we can't just, you know.
they could definitely repurpose like camos for sure. I feel like they could definitely do it. Again, I don't know. Again, chat, I don't know. I'm throwing out, people are like money question mark. I get it. $1 billion company. I don't know. I'm just throwing out. I'm throwing out suggestions. I don't know why. I cannot fathom why. But I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Let's switch over, man, to the actual update itself, boys. Boys, the Lockwood 300. Yo, for that one day. That shit
It
was
is so
crazy.
fun.
I know,
Yeah,
but
it's
that
fun.
one day, but go play a pub.
use.
You've only been playing ranked. Go play a pub.
Yeah, and pubs, it's
Mondale
catching
Pubs
on.
is brutal right now.
It's catching on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Let's level it up too. So I'm sure a lot of the casuals are like, oh, they need like what 15 one-shot kills or something, or I don't
Point
even
blanks.
know.
Yeah, point
Yeah,
blank.
point blank. So I'm sure next week everybody in Vondel will be running it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gonna adjust it or patch
Because the
it
Doom skin.
because the
Right.
Doom skin.
Oh, yeah.
With Doom.
When is that? When is that happening?
dope.
It's sick.
That
Let's
shit
do an
looks
LTM.
cool. But
Yeah.
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 When does that come out? When is that? Do you guys know?
Got to be next week, right?
I hope so they can nerf it.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's fun though because it's so early in the season. People don't know it's like meta-ish to use it. So it's a lot of fun, even in trios or quads. It's like so broken.
literally a one-shot kill. Let me see. What did this guy just? Oh yeah, I already. Okay, never mind. Okay, so now let's go down to weapon balancing. I mean, I don't want to go. I mean, we can go over everything, you know, like in
There was like
specifics.
30 weapon changes. So.
Yeah, but we're gonna be here a while if I do that, right? And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
The
but
most notable change
JGOD,
was
this is your
the
area. Go
Bass
ahead.
P. The
Okay.
Bass P got a buff. It is significantly better. It gets a similar TTK to the ISO and the Lockman sub, slightly slower, but it has double the range.
oh,
So it is significantly better. The big difference though is it doesn't have that like fast killing potential with headshots. Realistically, it does, but it doesn't. If you get 2 headshots with the Lockman or the ISO, or even the new one, ISO 9mm, which is pretty good too, you get 2 headshots with any of them, you get a faster TTK in the 500s, 550-ish. But
Okay.
this one, you need 3 headshots to get like 570, 580. So you're better off just shooting the body. But
So-
you're gonna have a 20-meter range, which is kind of nuts. So it's very good. Bass P got an update.
Yeah.
so
yeah.
Bass P is kind of like the ISO then.
No, it's better.
Oh, it's better.
From 10 to 20 meters, it is basically the best option in the game.
And so how does it? Okay, so they added a new sub as well. The other ISO 9mm. How does that one compare relative to?
That's basically identical in terms of like practicality. It's basically identical to the ISO 74 or 45, ISO 45.
Okay.
They're different. They're different, but they're basically identical in terms of like how they'll perform.
So if you had to give 2 guns right now that are meta, would you say that like?
I would say for an aggressive player that knows how to close the gap, the Lockman sub is probably still the best because you don't need an optic. You get good iron sights. Damage per mag is solid. The faster rate of fire on the ISO though, but you lose visibility. So
Yeah.
it's kind of tricky on both of the ISOs. They have the same iron sights. And then the Bass P doesn't have any better iron sights.
I should ask.
But if you're going to use it more medium range, an optic isn't a bad idea.
Yeah.
And it has a 50 round mag.
Okay. So I mean, Bass P. So would you even say that like no bullshit? Then the ISO, neither of the ISOs are not even within meta. Like because if the Bass
they
P is
are.
that good, they are.
No, they're all within meta, and this one's just on the edge. Because if somebody's using a Lockman or an ISO, they're going to gun you if you're using the Bass P. Up close within 10 meters.
Oh, within
But you
10
get to
meters.
12 but the reality is you're pushing stairs, doorways, you're pushing 10 meters. You know?
Yeah. You're definitely
Out
within
in the
that
open,
range.
if you catch them, you're probably going to gun them with the Bass
You're winning
P,
that shit.
and you'll get a good TTK.
So all the other guns technically didn't really do shit
The
then.
Lockman Shroud burst got improved, but it's still
Yeah,
a
I've seen
burst.
that. It's pretty bad.
The
Okay.
rifles, they all got kind of like a nerf.
Did the Signal 50 get touched?
I don't think so. Maybe it got faster ADS. No, all
Probably
the
not-
snipers
probably
got like
not.
weird ADS buff, but that was multiplayer. I
Signal
think it
up
applied to
Probably not
both.
enough data.
damage multiplier decreased.
Yeah,
Next
so-
damage multiplier decreased.
You have to get a
Okay.
headshot.
Okay.
Damn. So relatively speaking, obviously we won't sit too long there because we know it didn't really do much. The meta is still the fucking same, right? Like still MP5.
Yeah,
And the
MP5
other
we
thing
just
is
have more options now.
ISO
So-
9mm now. It's like it
Yeah.
has better mobility than the ISO 45, and it's like I feel like would be better, right? So if anybody's gonna use anything, it's probably gonna be MP5, ISO 9mm. That would probably be the 2 that they use, right? At the moment.
Yeah.
all three of the ISO, both the ISOs and the
Okay.
Lockman sub. Those
Yeah.
would be like the main 3. But if somebody used the Bass P, you wouldn't be surprised. Like it's good enough.
Okay, but still MP5 as far as sub 10 meters reigns supreme.
And the Bass P might actually be a better spot right now for pubs, only because if you play longer sight lines to avoid the 10-meter range of the shotgun, you're not going to be pushing the same way anyways. So it's going to be, if you go up against a shotgun, you're winning, and if you go up against those other guns, you're winning.
Yeah. Okay. I actually didn't even think about that. But yeah, man. I mean, boys. I mean, that kind of wraps up the whole like update for there wasn't really too many changes, right? It kind of sucks that it's a whole season. I get it's great they added skins and other things but I feel like today is season 6.5 and the 17th will be the true season 6. But ARs, JGOD, no ARs, right? No ARs are worth using.
Well, still, no, I mean, we still use the same ones pretty much. So it's either the Lockman, not the Lockman, the Cast-Off 762. People are still using the brand new TR Geist or whatever the hell. That's pretty solid. Like I said, try it with the VOK.
Okay.
And then basically it's really whatever you can shoot straight with. TAC 56,
M13,
Lockman 556, M13. Like, if you can shoot straight with it,
Use
cool.
it.
Yeah, because they're all kind of like mid. I don't think there's any of the long range that'll feel like, oh
Insane.
man, this thing claps.
Yeah,
which is great. I think I like it
Which
when
is
it's
good.
open range. Everybody can use whatever.
But it doesn't give you that like, yeah, feel.
Yeah.
So
Someone
what
said.
I mean?
Someone said, "What if they can't shoot straight? What then?"
Then use the
Man.
shotgun.
Yep. Put a sniper scope on it.
Oh man, boys. Well, look, man. I mean, to kind of conclude everything for the day, man. I really wish they could they revert the rank stuff. I think as of right now, playing it every day for 2 days. It's only 2 days, but I mean, I feel like we notice really fast what needs to be changed, what doesn't. I don't think we need too much playtime. I think the only thing would be seeing the top 250 lobbies in a week, 2 weeks, in a month from now, how that's gonna look, and then but I think 100 player lobbies definitely it feels slow. It feels like damn, it feels slow. That's kind of my opinion. But I mean, we got next week. Say that again. Sorry.
That's what, even if it's good for the rank system, it's bad for viewership, it's bad for the viewers, it's bad for the players, it's bad for content, which is what gets people on the game. It doesn't matter if it makes the rank system more balanced and helps out your your chart. If it's boring to watch, people don't want to sign on and play.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, boys, we'll I don't know. Again, at the end of the day, it's like, is there even enough time for them to change anything? Or let me correct myself. Is it even worth it to them to change things if they see like, damn, it's not working because we got 2 months left, or not even a month left until the new game comes out? Like we just found out that season 6 will last until December when the Warzone integration comes out. So again, is it enough to them, or are they kind of just like, Warzone 2 is chalked, we're gonna save all our resources for Modern Warfare 3, Warzone 3, which I wouldn't be too opposed to. Like, please put everything into Warzone 3.
No, I mean, we still got to find out and see what's going to happen with this haunting event.
Yeah.
It could be gas. Like,
I think it's
literally,
gonna be
they had to sandbag the content because of the beta and Next.
Yeah.
If there was no Next and no beta, and we had it in July or something weird, or August, we would have got the haunting, like, get-go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Well,
of
and I think
October.
also, like you said, Hector, like, they're not going to give us anything movement related. They're not going to give us anything that makes the game feel fundamentally better. They're not going to give us any new maps, right? Because they want a shock factor of when we transition to MW3. So if they started inching towards that, like, I've heard some people say, like, oh, just give us back Verdansk for like just a couple months. I'm like, no, because then that means we're going to compare the new map to Verdansk.
Verdansk, yeah.
I want to compare what I consider to be dog water movement to whatever they come out with MW3, and the better that contrast is, even if it's not perfect, that contrast jump will give a lot of people a lot of hype.
Yeah, I mean,
So I think it's going to be a slow couple months.
yeah, it might be a slow couple months. I don't really know. I'm excited for next week, man. I'm excited for you guys to feel how I felt when I came back from that trip. Again, I pray to God they didn't slow it down. Like, they didn't make anything slower and made it like more boring and stuff like that. Again, I'm curious to see everybody's opinions on next week and on Thursday and on Friday. But boys, man, any closing thoughts before we conclude today's podcast? JGOD.
No, I think I'm ready to rock and roll. There's still a lot of unknowns. How the water combat will be handled, how zombies is going to work. Will DMZ actually get vaulted or sunsetted? I mean, there's a lot of different variables. How will the movement impact the older weapons? If they improve visual shake, will it actually fix it for Modern Warfare 2 or only within the, I don't know. There's too many variables, but we're going to find out Thursday. Make sure you're following. I'm sure even if Ebatez doesn't go, he's going to be doing a watch party of it. So make sure you're following all the channels so you can get different perspectives of what's going on, because we're going to get a first look at all the questions basically people have about Warzone and multiplayer.
And zombies too.
And zombies.
Yeah. So, Ebatez, any final thoughts, Pops?
I'm excited. Like I said, I think next week will be really cool to see kind of the new game, kind of where we're headed. And also I'm curious to see kind of everyone's like feel of like, transitioning and stuff. Like, are they excited for the new game, or is everybody just like, I'm gonna squeeze as much as we can out of Warzone 2? So hopefully we get like a little bit more out of Warzone 2 and everyone's kind of like, just appreciate what we got until the new game. But yeah, like I said, I'm excited and just curious to see how this all plays out.
Nice. And Isaac, talk to me. Final thoughts, brother.
One question: is it even called Warzone 2 anymore?
No, it's called
Just
Warzone.
Warzone.
Just Warzone.
Okay, that's what I had thought. So
But
I imagine
it will
whenever they
forever
drop-
be Warzone 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're on a 2-year cycle, man. We had Verdansk Cold War integration, Nakatomi, Caldera, because of some bad decisions, especially the engine with the console players, RIP. Warzone 2. And then now we're heading into MW3, and then a year after that,
Treyarch. Oh, please,
and
bro,
then
please.
IW takes over again, and maybe we'll play GTA 6.
Oh my God! Oh, that's a way to end the
no
pod,
cap.
guys. Oh man, that's a way to end the pod, man. Listen, man. Thank you guys so much, everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning into today's podcast, man. We'll have another one for you. Hopefully next week we can maybe cook something up while being over there, man. That'd be really cool. I'll try to see if we can make it happen, then we'll go from there. But yo, JGOD, Ebatez, Isaac, thank you guys so much for helping us out today, man, and being on the podcast. Everybody in chat, appreciate y'all. We'll catch you guys in the next one, baby. I love you guys. Peace, 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 baby.